This is KGW News at noon.
The one good news here is a bit of good news this morning anyway. All of our levee systems performed extremely well, especially the hurricane risk reduction system around New Orleans and even non-federal levees in Lafourche and Terrebonne Parish performed extremely well.
That right there is Louisiana Governor John Bel Edwards describing the situation in his state. Hurricane Ida delivered a direct hit to Louisiana, and now the focus is on rescuing anyone who stayed behind. Thanks for joining us here at noon. I'm Drew Carney. A massive search and rescue operation is underway in Louisiana. So far, we know at least one person died, but officials say that number is expected to climb. NBC's Liz McLaughlin has more for us from New Orleans.
Here in New Orleans and across the state of Louisiana, people are reeling, seeing the destruction of deadly Hurricane Ida for the first time. You can see some of that destruction behind me here in the French Quarter, a roof just ripped off like a tin can. And scenes like this are across the state of Louisiana, the coast battered by a Category 4 storm. Hurricane Ida hitting at 150-mile-per-hour winds, and those continuing for hours. Those hurricane force winds causing extensive damage, as well as rainfall and storm surge causing flooding. People had to be rescued from their cars overnight in the flooding, and some retreating to higher ground, stuck in their attics, awaiting help. Governor John Bel Edwards acknowledging the hard work required of first responders in their search and rescue efforts in the days ahead.
When you push that much surge, that much rain, you're going to have flooding issues, and we certainly have people that are in the second floors of the house and some in the attic and so forth that we're rescuing right now.
The sunlight is shining here in New Orleans, but that doesn't mean that the challenges are over. Power is out citywide. Utility providers saying there was catastrophic damage to their transmission. No sign of when that power will be turned back on. In New Orleans, I'm Liz McLaughlin, NBC News.
We know one of the hardest hit areas in Louisiana is the town of Houma, which is about 40 miles southwest of New Orleans. This video we're going to show you right here shows winds just ripping huge trees out of the ground. It also shows roofs being torn off buildings. Just a few hours ago, we talked to Jane Claire Curran, who grew up in Houma and still has family there. Curran moved to Portland 16 years ago and co-founded Misty Crew of Nimbus, the group behind Portland's annual Mississippi Avenue Mardi Gras parade. Right now, though, Curran told us she's focused on what's happening in Houma.
I didn't really have a chance to look at a lot of the news footage, so it was interesting to just experience it through the numbers and the radar and the charts that were available. Sometimes seeing the news footage can be very emotionally scary, and I have a science background, so I appreciate looking at the data a little bit better. And it helped me know the facts about the storm, and it really helped me knowing that my family had evacuated.
Karen did tell us that she was able to text with her family today, and she found out that they're all safe. So we have been keeping a close eye on that situation in Louisiana, but right now we want to talk about our local weather with an update from meteorologist Chris McGinnis.
Well, the big takeaway for the start of the work week anyway is the return to some slightly cooler weather. We were 87 degrees on Saturday, 87 Sunday. Salem hit 90 yesterday, but with the cloud cover out there to start the day and a late burn off to that cloud cover, we think we'll see sunshine today. Temperatures will be noticeably cooler, that and the onshore push. So here's a look at Futurecast as we roll into the afternoon hours. Remember, we were up near the 90-degree mark for a lot of the region yesterday. Futurecast says Portland 73 today, 76 in Salem. The Dows yesterday hit 94. How about 76 today? And we will continue that cool weather trend into tomorrow as well. So a month that started off really, really hot, the month of August. We are easing things back just a little bit as we say hello to September. Incidentally, eyeing the Labor Day holiday weekend forecast, it still is several days out, but it looks like we do warm up a little bit towards the end of the week. And we'll look at that part of your forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, right now we want to get back to one of our top headlines here at noon. Governor Brown's outdoor mask mandate being put to the test at the Oregon State Fair. Over the weekend, we saw a lot of people who chose not to wear a mask at the fairgrounds. So Tim Gordon brings us more on that and the vaccine clinic that's happening right now at the fair.
The Oregon State Fair is a popular place on opening weekend, but walk through the crowd and you see the outdoor mask mandate is not so popular. On Sunday afternoon, it appeared about half the crowd was ignoring it, including Kayla Sattler, here with a couple of unmasked friends. Her response to the governor's mandate:
No, I'm fully vaccinated. Why should I have a mask? Why should I need a mask? You know, I did my part. I got vaccinated. I should be able to choose whether I want a mask or not.
Nearby, signs point out a COVID vaccine clinic happening inside an event hall. Unlike the masks, this is going smoothly. Healthcare workers have been vaccinating 50 to 60 people a day since Friday.
Yeah, we were a little hesitant. We didn't really see much of a reason.
For some, like Brianna and Michael Robinette, the vaccine mandate for certain workers got them in.
I work for the hospital, so it became a mandate, and that's where I went from there. It was a matter of me getting the shot or a livelihood, so that's why I chose.
I was not mandated, but I was here to support him and go ahead and get it. Just better safe than sorry.
They tell us business at this vaccination clinic ebbs and flows throughout the day. And wouldn't you know it, right at closing time on a Sunday evening, about a half dozen people came in to get their vaccines.
And a good thing for people to remember is you're not fully vaccinated until 2 weeks after your final dose. So for Johnson & Johnson, that's great because 2 weeks from today, you're fully vaccinated.
Josh Frankie says all 3 vaccine types are available here, and he is glad to see people getting them. Back outside, the music is playing and people are having fun. But it is no fun for fair organizers trying to get people to mask up. They tell them coming in, offer masks for those without, and remind them again when they can.
It really takes people doing the right thing if they want this fair to continue. The best version of this classic American State Fair is only possible with your help. Please, while you're at the Oregon State Fair, please wear your mask.
In Salem, Tim Gordon, KGW News.
Another big event that's coming up here in 5 weeks is the Portland Marathon. It's set for Sunday, October 3rd, and race organizers have announced that everyone at the marathon will have to show proof of vaccination. If you don't have that, you'll need to have a negative COVID test within 72 hours of the event. Masks will also be required at the marathon's expo, packet pickup, start and finish lines, and at the post-race party. This next story is a really sad indicator of what's happening with COVID right now in Oregon. 2 counties have requested refrigerated trucks from the state to hold the bodies of people who have died from COVID. Tillamook County reported 8 deaths in August alone, which is more than the county had in the previous 18 months of the pandemic combined. Tillamook County also has only 1 funeral home, and right now it's over capacity. Josephine County in southern Oregon, where Grants Pass is the other county that requested a refrigerated truck from the state. Meanwhile, both Multnomah County and Portland officials say there is still help for people who are struggling to pay their rent right now because of the pandemic, even though the U.S. Supreme Court ruled to end the federal eviction moratorium. So, if you are worried about being evicted, the first thing you can do is set up a meeting with a case manager by calling 211. There's also a grace period for people who can prove that they've recently applied for rental assistance.
Even if you don't get an eviction notice, if you can't pay your rent right now, but and you're worried about that, you can apply for rent assistance. And that notice, that documentation of your application, if you get that to your landlord, that kicks off a 90-day grace period in which you can't be evicted also.
As of August 17th, Multnomah County, the city of Portland, and their partners had distributed $46 million in pandemic rent assistance.